What up, this is Ramashkin covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Prime Video's new limited series, The English. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, ring that bell, so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. Let's rock this! First up, I would like to say thank you to Prime Video for granting me the screeners to this entire new miniseries. The English is an excellent, vicious, staggering revenge western that's exquisitely shot and harrowingly written. At times, it felt like I was watching something poetic and sweeping and Terrence Malick-esque, and at other times, it felt like I was watching one of them classic westerns that the late great John Ford used to direct. This miniseries truly pays homage to Western pictures and themes of the past, and it is most fitting that the show arrives in this current Native American Heritage Month. Emily Blunt gives a beautiful, empathetic performance, while Chesky Spencer is absolutely badass. Their on-screen chemistry is extremely palpable and deep. I don't think this show would have worked if it had starred any other two lead actors. Emily and Chesky are the beating heart and soul of The English. An epic chase western, The English takes the core themes of identity and revenge to tell a uniquely compelling parable on race, power, and love. An aristocratic Englishwoman, Lady Cornelia Locke, and a Pawnee ex-cavalry scout, Eli Whip, come together in 1890 Middle America to cross a violent landscape built on dreams and blood. Both of them have a clear sense of their destiny, but neither is aware that it is rooted in a shared past. They must face increasingly terrifying obstacles that will test them to their limits physically and psychologically. But as each obstacle is overcome, it draws them closer to their ultimate destination, the new town of Hoxham, Wyoming. It is here, after an investigation by the local sheriff Robert Marshall and young widow Martha Myers into a series of bizarre and macabre unsolved murders, that the full extent of their intertwined history will be truly understood, and they will come face to face with the future they must live. While some of the shooting locations for this series did take place in America, but the majority of it was done in Europe, specifically in Spain, where it surprisingly has terrains and landscapes and atmospheric features that perfectly mimic America's old barren frontier, which the script describes as a place full of killers and thieves. And that's exactly what writer-director Hugo Blick successfully emphasizes. This whole kill or be killed environment, everything's for the taking. And that, of course, lends to some suspenseful shootouts and standoffs, which are the very elements that rock our world about this particular genre. So there are a total of 6 episodes. The first one lays out the situation that brings Lady Cornelia and Eli Whip on the same path. Right from the start, the story wants to make it clear that Cornelia is far from being a damsel in distress, and Eli has a complicated relationship with his people, seeing that he was formerly part of the Union Army. These two characters are very layered, and as the story progresses, I keep wondering who needs who more in this dynamics. But writer-director Hugo Blick unfolds their sense of purpose and their sense of feelings toward one another very gradually, to the point where we can savor their moments together. Now, on the subsequent episodes, some of the other subplots come into play, but don't worry, they're all connected eventually. Some of the episodes are more action-packed than others, while some of the episodes are more dialogue-driven, and the violence can get pretty graphic and intense, from scalping to one-on-one conflict. The English doesn't shy away from any of it. This show covers a lot of grounds, but only because it wants to present a very complex, very nuanced conversation about race, prejudice, and issues of stolen lands. So underneath the gunfights and the retaliation lies this very heavy question of who America really belongs to. Because sometimes some things are just not as simple as us versus them. The music score by composer Federico Jusit is memorable. The cinematography by DP Arnau Colomer is majestic and breathtaking. And halfway through, the friendship turned romance between Eli and Cornelia is done in a very poignant and profound manner, as opposed to something that's superficial. Listen, the English is here not so much as to instill guilt, although it does correctly point out our nation's long history of mistreating Native Americans, but the story and the scope of the English are both intimate and grand. It boldly tackles the gray areas that make it uneasy for us to take sides, because good guys and bad guys come in all shapes and sizes and skin colors, depending on their motivations. The English is very well made and very well performed. Do not miss out on this extraordinary mini-series.